Hi, my name's Brian, and I bought an abandoned railroad, and what a journey it's been. In this video, long overdue, is to catch you up on the East Terminal Railway, which was the name I chose for the railroad. Today I'm in Florida. P&M stands for Patrick and McGinnis, which was the lumber company that owned this locomotive. It's a Vulcan, and you guys that know steam already know this is a 280, meaning two wheels up front, eight here, and none right here at the back. And this railroad vanished when the big sawmill burnt down. And so we all know about fallen flags, and we know about railroads that made it and didn't make it. And that's for so many reasons. If you own a railroad that hauls coal, only coal, now would be a bad time. Coal has been looked down upon, and its use being curtailed. And so in this case, it was the lumber industry. It took a bad turn. And this Vulcan, which was built in 1915 in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, kind of got passed around between the county and some others, and then it's now a roadside marker of history. But the history you want to know about is the East Terminal Railway. And like other railroads, things change. Things have changed. The ETR still lives on and still has chances of being as successful as we all dreamed. For me, it was a dream. At the end of my career in railroading, it was kind of the capstone project. Could I, after working on other people's railroad cars and locomotives and rarely tracks, but could I work on my own railroad, meaning cars, locomotives, and tracks? And that's what you got to see. You got to see my dream coming true. And it always was a hold my coffee and watch this. I was unsure of its chances of success. And that's why I'm super glad I didn't take any money by way of GoFundMe or any other way. I made that decision, and I'm really glad because and I knew there were many that were willing, would have sent money, and now you would be wondering if that was a good decision or not. Some of you would have just flat given it to me for entertainment value, but some of you would be disappointed that I did not make it succeed. But somebody else might. The guy that will now be running it has got background in transit, and by that I mean mostly tourist, but he's got some connections in the aggregates industry. He's got a lot of connections, and he's hopeful. Like any good business deal, it's made of two people that like the price. The seller and the buyer like the price. They like the terms, they like the value. So he's excited about running it. And honestly, because of a couple reasons, I was excited to see somebody else run it. One of those was, and we've talked about it, and I kind of wished Graham were here to hear me, to fact check it, and to balance what I say. But he chose a different career, and for that reason, I felt like I was a little bit too old. You're never too old. I felt like I was older than I wanted to be to continue putting a lot of energy in, and that I had other things I wanted to do. Little side commercial. Are you interested in what I'm going to do next? I think I'm going to buy an airplane that's partially a kit, put it together and fly it. If you're interested in that, you're welcome to go on my next journey with me. While I'm right here, I'm going to turn, and if that printing is the right direction, you can pause it and read the detail on this. So with Graham not as willing to stay and work as hard as it would have taken, I decided to move on to other things. The guy that's going to be running it may have success. I felt like for me, it was out of reach for a couple issues. One of them, and I'm going to use an illustration, if you put yourself in the painting business, meaning people's houses or the hallway and bedroom in their house, not as an artist, although I know some of you guys are amazing, talking about painting houses, where could you or would you buy the paint? Answer: anywhere you wanted. Home Depot, Lowe's, you could buy it at the local True Value. You could probably order it and get it delivered by Amazon. My point is, your main product, you could buy wherever you wanted. When I started trying to arrange freight to come into or off of the East Terminal Railway, I'm only connected to one railroad, the Ohio Central, which is a Genesee and Wyoming road. They're basically connected to two railroads, CSX and Norfolk Southern. I was told that no matter how much freight I generated, I wouldn't make a cent, not one red cent. Even though I was the originator of the freight, it was, that's all negotiated between the Ohio Central and Norfolk Southern, or CSX. Now, little caveat to that, had we become a Class 3 railroad, you would have more say. But oh my gosh, I looked down that road. When you become a Class 3 railroad, the legalities of retirement, safety, inspections, that all goes up exponentially. The goal of becoming an industrial railroad, where your locomotive is almost like a trailer spotter to tractor trailers, or to a fork truck to pallets, you're just moving something on an industrial railroad, much, much easier. But your chances of income go way, way down because you're not the railroad. And let me give you an example of that. I thought that we had the best deal possible. There was a lot of steel coming into Columbus, Ohio, in coils, wire rod coils. And it comes up the Ohio River in a barge and then gets transferred to trucks to come to Columbus. Well, I thought, we'll interrupt that. We'll get with Norfolk Southern. It'll come out of the ocean port on the Gulf and then travel up Norfolk Southern Railroad all the way and then end up on the ETR. Norfolk Southern charge for the haul off the Gulf up to the Ohio River was more than door to door using barge. All the way delivered into Columbus for less than just Norfolk Southern's charge to the Ohio River. I'm probably telling tales out of school and some confidential pricing information, but I owe it to you guys to give you an explanation of the headwinds that face you when you're trying an endeavor like this. So there was no money left. Norfolk Southern got it all. That was a non-starter. As soon as I got that price, it was like, well, that's not going to work. So unlike being a painter and buying the paint wherever you want, I'm hooked to these people. I have to buy my paint from them. And if they jack the price up, you either pass it on or you don't get the work. So you're very, very limited. So as the capstone project to my career, I had a blast, and I meant to early in the video thank all of you for the kind comments, the things you said. I knew every one of them was sincere. I mean, I've made friends that I have met, talked to, shared messages with, truly nice people that were supportive. And to each one of you, I say thank you so much. I really appreciate it. A little bit of my personality makes me feel like I let you down. But I do have to say, I didn't take any money, and it was always a hold my coffee and watch this. Let's see if one guy and his son with some resources to do this with can be successful. In the end, this would be difficult. You might, if you had connections, if you knew there was inbound freight coming in and you owned even more property than we did, the laydown yard that would have worked good for like dragline mat or rebar, we didn't own. We would have had to have leased it. We owned the line coming in, the tracks, the rights, but we didn't have enough acreage to own our own laydown yard. So Graham wanting to move on, my age, the fact that we were so tied to the big railroads and what they wanted to do. We weren't the tail on the dog. We were the flea on the tail of the dog. That's a tough spot to be in. I wish my friend that bought it the best of luck. Will he succeed? hold his coffee and watch this, maybe. That's yet to be seen. Now, as a tourist, you're less connected. If you bring in equipment and run it back and forth and people love you and donate or pay, then that's very possibly a way to succeed there. So there might be things I've forgotten. I didn't have notes. I thanked you. I explained how it happened, why it happened, the fact that I really don't have any regrets. It was always, let's see if I can do this. So my heart is not broken. I'm saddened a little. Would have liked for it to have worked out differently. But I checked the obits this morning. I'm not in them. And I'm healthy. I'm happy. Mrs. ETR is amazing. My truck runs. My ticker's working. That's a country song. So all is good. ETR Nation, I'm going to continue putting out videos. Probably won't be as popular as this saga was. But if you like to travel, if you like mechanical stuff, if you like aviation, big boats. I don't like little boats, but oh man, ocean-going ships, locomotives, airplanes. Let's travel together. Doesn't cost you anything. You don't even have to subscribe. ETR Nation, thank you so much. What a ride this was. I like the PNW, but I don't like the no trespassing. Let's get like this. What a ride this has been. I'm so thankful. And we'll end it like that. P&M, ETNR, both lights out.